In many of the programs that you write, you want a identifier to hold a value, but you don't want to be able to change that identifier's value. By definition, a variable's value can change. What we want is something whose value can't change, and that something is called a constant. Let me show you how to create one. You start off with the keyword const, C-O-N-S-T, followed by a data type, followed by the constant name, followed by the equal sign, and a value. So for example, if we want to create a constant pi, then we write it like so. Now, so I can clear out that warning message, let me write out its value. The interesting thing about constants is that once you set their value, you cannot change it. So if, for example, I decided to try to change pi's value to 3.2, I'll get an error message right off the bat stating that the left-hand side of an assignment must be a variable, property, or indexer, meaning that it cannot be a constant, which is what pi now is. Another interesting thing about constants is that you cannot just declare them. So for example, if I try to create a constant number, like so, I'm going to get an error message at the very end of the statement because a constant field requires a value to be provided. So if I'm going to declare a constant, I also have to assign a value at that time, which makes sense because its value can't change. So you can't declare a constant and then try to change its value later, because once again you're going against what a constant's definition is. You have to declare and initialize a constant in the same statement. The advantage to constants is that a programmer can look at the definition once and know what the value of that constant is going to be throughout the whole length of the program. It also keeps you from making mistakes, such as accidentally assigning a different value to the variable if you're using that instead of a constant. So constants are more of a programmer's convenience than a necessary tool. But most times when you have special values such as pi or some other value that's special to your program, then you will assign that as a constant. I should also mention very quickly that you can also create string constants as well as constants of any other data type. I was sticking to numbers in this lesson because that's what we're working with in this chapter. But I should just mention very briefly that we can use other data types with constants. There's not much else to say about constants, so let's go ahead and move on to the next lesson where we're going to talk about other functions to perform mathematics that aren't built into C# and we have to use a special math library to obtain them.